Part 1. White Clouds. Lone Moon. To War. Together, the people of Fodlan relish the beauty of the brilliant moon overhead as another year ends. They recall sad partings and new acquaintances alike, but each person must still walk their chosen path alone. With each day, the presence of spring grows stronger, and yet a lone moon still haunts the sky, a silent reminder perhaps of some inescapable truth.
Unforgivable! I cannot fathom that the Adrestian Empire would embark on such a violent course of action.
The fault is my own. I failed to see the wickedness within Edelgart's heart. There is no question on that front. She clearly wishes to conquer all of Fodlan. And in order to achieve her own selfish ambitions, she plotted with ill-meaning strangers and defiled the Holy Tomb. Or perhaps her ambitions are even grander than we know. Perhaps she is planning to make herself a false deity by demonizing the Church of Seros.
Adrestia received its very name through a divine oracle. To injure the goddess is a sin most foul that shall not be forgiven nor forgotten. We must stop the Empire, and quickly.
I have returned, Rhea.
Welcome back, Shamir. Were you able to discern the Empire's movements?
Their main troops are marching towards Garreg Mach. It is said that they will join forces with Edelgard's army and arrive within 2 weeks.
2 weeks? That is not enough time. It will require all of our efforts just to prepare our defenses before then. We must send notice to all surrounding villages at once. We must order the residents of Garreg Mach to flee for their lives.
It will be done.
Professor, listen closely. If our enemy invades the monastery, I will have no choice but to stand upon the battlefield. If something happens to me, I am entrusting my sacred duties to you. You must have guessed it by now. The truth of who you are. Or perhaps I should say, your lost memories are surely beginning to return. I have acted all these long years as a mere proxy for you. But the duty is yours, and yours alone. Only you can lead the people of Fodlan.
Rhea, please. You must tell me all that you know. I beg of you. That one is the progenitor god. Am I correct?
In a sense. Our dear professor is a vessel, one who carries the power of the progenitor god within. In time, the vessel will become one with the power contained within, and the progenitor god shall return to this world.
I see. I trust that you are aware of the questionable nature of this experiment. But I suppose there is no turning back.
I ask that you help our friend. And in doing so, help her. I am waiting and hoping for the moment when our Creator rules this wayward land once more.
I understand. As ever, I will take you at your word.
Lady Rhea! Brother, I will do my part as well.
Flame! Were you eavesdropping? Regardless, I am glad to hear it. You owe your life to the Professor, after all. And in the end, they may prove to be our brethren.
You have my gratitude, Sedith. And you as well, Flame. As followers of the progenitor god, it is up to us to see our mission through.
Looks as if I... Whoa!
I passed.
I passed!
I have had the arrival of a letter from Edelgard. She is asking that I join her side. She is making the decision. No, she is deciding if Bridget is a friend or an enemy of the Empire. But my choice is not to be friends. My choice is to fight with you. Bridget is not a friend of the Empire. We will not be following again. We will be ready to fight with you instead. This is not... This is not...
think that the Flame Emperor was Edelgard all along. Flame's abduction? Geralt's murder? The turmoil in Remire Village? Whether or not she was the mastermind behind what happened, it at least seems like she was involved. And yet she was able to remain so composed while she was enrolled at the Officers' Academy. No. 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 Good timing. Will you put me in your class too? There are so many things I want to learn from you. Being in another class makes it especially challenging. Thank you, Professor. I look forward to studying under you. I will be extra diligent with my studies. Thank you for this opportunity. To think that Flames of whether or not, and yet she was. Thank you very much. To think Flame, what, and yet she was. To think Flame, whether or not, and yet she was.
What does war with Edelgard mean for us, Professor? And why does she even want that? Yeah, I guess we'd have to ask her. That's how it always goes, I guess. You never realize something can't be undone until you've done it. I've been looking for this.
This is nearly as delicious as...
The most important nobles in the Empire are known for taking power from the previous emperor, my father included. I didn't think it possible that the Imperial Princess could ascend the throne so easily. However, it seems that both my father and Caspar's are supporting Edelgard. Having both the Minister of Domestic Affairs and Minister of Military Affairs on your side gives you total control over the Empire's military and finances. They must have been making preparations for quite some time without anyone noticing. That's not mine.
I hear the Alliance's territory will be in danger if we don't get rid of these Empire guys. If the Alliance is in danger, that means my sister's in danger too. There's no way I'm gonna allow that. It doesn't matter how many guys they throw at us. I'll beat them all. These muscles aren't just for show. But first, I gotta get some food. Good to see you, Professor. Did you need something from me? I was just on my way to train, so I'm pretty busy. I hear if the Alliance doesn't matter, but first... Is this for me? That isn't...
Yes. His Highness calls for the head of Edelgard. For me, that is cause enough to fight. The hatred of His Highness is also my hatred. Any other feelings I may have are irrelevant. And if Edelgard was responsible in any way for the tragedy of Duscur, that is something I cannot ignore. If that is the case, then she is my enemy.
You'll battle Edelgard, right? Good luck. Me? Oh, I'm going to run away. I have zero interest in dying here, thank you very much. Professor? But if you're here to lecture me, I'll pass. It's not like I'm one of your students. You'll battle me? Never seen.
Things must be pretty crazy in Fargus about now. My father must be beside himself. I don't get it. Why did Edelgard make enemies with the nobles? Ideals she believed in so much, she was willing to start a war over them? Those must be some lofty ideals, to say the least. What's up, Hey, I got a girl.
Once the Imperial army reaches the monastery, we'll have no choice but to fight.
What's going to happen to us? I believe you. With the knights on our side, and especially with you, Professor, I know we can do this.
Huh? I'm not... Once the...
What's...
lost, Once the...
What's going to... Huh? I'm really...
Once the
What's going...
lost... Once...
What? Hey?
Edelgard became emperor and raised an army, huh? Who knew the kid had it in her? I mean, yeah, of course, I knew she'd be emperor eventually, but the more I think about it, the more surprised I am. I wonder who's gonna win. Thinking about it makes me scared. We're up against the entire Imperial army. Still, I know someone as smart as you will figure something out. I'm sorry. Thank you, Professor.
Professor? What actually happened last month? I can't keep up at all. Edelgard is the Emperor? And she's declared war against the Church? So now we're at war? What is going on? I really don't understand any of this. What should I do?
If I could go back to last month and throttle my carefree self. Now it turns out Edelgard is the Flame Emperor and the new Adrestian Emperor. And she's striking out against the monastery, with the full force of the Imperial army behind her. We gotta beat her at her own game. For our sake as well as Lady Rhea's. Now it and we gotta be. I'll take it.
Okay. I thought we'd all be really busy with assignments and getting ready for graduation. Now that things have turned out like this, I guess there's nothing to do but fight.
I don't normally have a problem jumping into a fight, but it feels strange going up against my father. We aren't especially close, but he's not an opponent I'd want to face. I'd almost rather fight a monster. I hope he's not part of the group coming to attack Garreg Mach. What's that? What's that? What's that? What's that?
That girl's starting an all-out war, isn't she? But an enemy is an enemy, no matter who they are. Don't let compassion for her get in your way. People say you're quite skilled. Perhaps if I joined your class, I could watch your sword technique up close. Indeed, I think that's best. I'll transfer to your class then. Don't make me regret it. That girl, but an enemy... I know. All right.
You are nothing. This was beneath me. The mark of nobility. You should be honored.
Okay.
Hey there.
Those who serve the Church must cast aside all selfish desires and devote themselves fully to their beliefs. But is it right to wield piety as a weapon? I have never considered such things before. The Church, I have always done what I thought best to save the people of Fodlan. Excuse me. How are you, Professor? Any new changes to report? With the Imperial Army drawing near, it is most vexing that we cannot relax and converse as we once did. Thankfully, you have the divine protection of the goddess on your side. Please try to listen carefully for her voice. May the goddess's voice...
Hey, you.
must protect Garreg Mach. Defiling the Holy Tomb was a sacrilege. I will not allow such a thing to happen again. The Archbishop has already given you a new responsibility. I want you to rise to that honor. I have something to ask of you. I'm sorry. I accept.
To think. Well, perhaps it's pointless to get upset about the past. My duty now is to prepare for battle. We're depending on your strength, Professor. Crush our enemies. Captain, I hope you're watching. We will protect Garreg Mach. I appreciate.
Greeting. The Holy Tomb held many crest stones. This is the first time I've heard of crest stones being hidden away in such a place. But more importantly, I'm interested to know the Empire's aim. Why would their army desire crest stones? There is power there, yes. And yet, I must think on this. The crest stones lie at the heart of the events surrounding Conan Tower and the chapel as well. And of course, the crest stones somehow transform those traitors and their captives into demonic beasts. Could that possibly be their aim? The Empire's army may well plan to use crest stones to create demonic beasts. I'm not sure. Oh.
So Edelgard, the one who calls herself the Flame Emperor, was connected to those strange beings. The Imperial Army might be using even more terrifying methods than we know. You had better be cautious, Professor. Any amount of carelessness might prove to be our undoing.
Yes, I'm actually very busy right now.
So the Imperial, you had better... What? What?
The mastermind behind the attacks on the monastery was Edelgard? Wow. Doesn't make much sense, though, does it? There would need to be all sorts of territories and groups tangled up in this sort of mess. I'm gonna stop. I don't really have the head for this political stuff. Mostly, I'm worried about my old opera company. I wonder what's happening in the capital right now. I hope they're safe. No. Thank you, Professor.
Hello there. How dare they threaten the goddess? Such a vile act cannot be forgiven. There is no need to worry, I promise you that. Divine punishment will surely fall upon them. In the days of yore, the goddess would grow angry with such insolent fools and roast them in ALL.
I'll have that girl's head. Just you wait.
I guess we have no choice but to fight, have we? Oh, but why would Edelgard do something like this? I'm sure we'll be all right, though, Professor. The goddess will keep us safe. Did you... Oh, I'm already having... Professor, can we really defeat someone who is willing to turn their back on the world just to uphold their own beliefs? I've spent my whole life running in fear, and now Surely we can win if we rely on... What? Oh, Professor, excuse me,
Professor, war is breaking out again, is it not? An honorable notion. Do you think there is something to be done? I never wanted another war. All we can do is steel ourselves for the fight ahead.
Need something? See you again soon.
Okay.
Oh, Professor, are you here to train? I knew it! Gotta train daily. Legs, back, chest, arms, abs. Gotta work them all, right? I just finished training, and I feel great. Check me out! Are my muscles bulging? Another day of training, and my muscles are ready to burst. Bulging muscles means strength. I have to be strong if I want to be a proper knight. And I have to eat if I want to keep training. Time to feast. Way to hit me where it hurts, Professor. I know I'll be in trouble if I don't train my brain, too. Anyone who can't get tactics can't be a proper knight. It's just, I'm no good at remembering that kind of stuff. And training my brain instead of my body makes me sleepy. What if I start training twice as hard? Then I should only have to study half as much, right? You really think so? I can't let that happen. I guess I have no choice. I'll prove I can do it. Wish me luck, Professor. For my training and for my studies.
Professor. Hey.
Professor. You know, Professor, I'm glad that I came to the Officers' Academy. I feel accepted here. I've learned so much. Honestly, I'm surprised at how much I've grown. So, I will not let the Academy be destroyed. It's important to me, and I will protect it. I feel braver just hearing you say that, Professor. We're gonna win this, Professor. Ah, Professor, hello. I have a quick question for you. Would you consider adding me to your class? I'd also like to talk to you about my future and stuff. Really? Oh, thank you. I'll study and train as hard as I can. Thanks so much. We're gonna win this. Thank you very much.
Hey there. Is this it? There you go. 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 Come back anytime.
Welcome. This one? Thank you. Please come again.
Pardon me. Greetings, Professor. Something to report. Unexpected, isn't it? Apparently, this is the first time Garreg Mach has been invaded in its whole 995-year history. It's my job to protect this gate, so even if enemies come in droves, I will never let them through. I hope we both survive. Let's battle with all our might and pray we win this thing.
Really?
Right.
Hi. I cannot believe our negligence allowed the Empire to invade. Edelgard probably gathered her soldiers in Garreg Mach, intending to do this from the start. Soldiers disguised as merchants and pilgrims to avoid suspicion, infiltrating the entire area little by little. They couldn't be better prepared. We'll have a tough time winning this one, I'm afraid.
Hello there.
What is Edelgard even trying to achieve? She wants to destroy the church so badly that she'll take on anyone who doesn't fall in line? I don't get it. I just can't believe she'd start a war over it. Not to mention using such nasty tactics to get her way. Could Captain Gerald's death have also been a part of her plan? Don't you go and die on me, Professor. Captain Gerald would never forgive you. Hey, I hope we get a chance to practice. I know I'm in a different class, but you're... Don't you go and... Someone lost... Some...
I see. The Empire is moving quickly. Edelgard must have been preparing for this for a while now. If you really think about it, she must have been planning for this even before you got the Sword of the Creator. Of course she was always a step ahead of us. We were blinded by the ball and the battle of the eagle and lion and everything else.
That's,
It's my job to protect Lady Rhea. I've got to do it, and I got to do it as best I can. And if that means I got to die for her, then I will. How could Edelgard treat Lady Rhea like she's the bad guy? She's never been anything but nice to everybody. I just don't get it at all. I don't know. Thanks.
There are always small power struggles, still. It has been hundreds of years since all of Fodlan was consumed by war. I didn't actually think it would come to this. I feel as though I'm not in my rightful place. I cannot protect the things I should. Professor, if I survive this war, I wish to return to my homeland, to the land of my king.
Hey,
We're falling behind. I don't know that we can keep up with the new Emperor. To think that she was able to raise an army of that size right under our noses. However hard we fight, I give us a 50% chance of winning. The enemy has too many advantages. We must make careful preparations. We're falling back to think, however, the enemy has too...
It's not my... It's not... It's...
Hello there.
No, half of the Empire's 6 great noble families have declared their support for Edelgard. Of the other 3, Lord Vestra was assassinated. Hubert, his son, will succeed him. Bernadetta's father, Count Varley, is under house arrest. His wife is now supporting Edelgard. And my father, he was stripped of his role as Prime Minister. As a result, House Eyre has lost all of its power, all of its lands. We have lost everything. What do I do? How could you how...
That's the 3rd time this month. Well, that's that. Father never relents. Oh, Professor! Hello! Did you need something? Well, that is... I was just tossing out something I have no need of. It's important to keep our spaces clean after all. You'd do well to remember that too, Professor. A clean space makes for a clean mind, or some such. Getting rid of things you have no need for is the first step to managing one's belongings in an economical way. While I'd love to help, I don't want people getting the wrong idea with me being alone in your room. Despite my family's nobility, we've never been particularly wealthy. So my father raised me to be conservative with my resources, paring down when necessary. He also encouraged me to keep my living spaces immaculate, so the two go hand in hand, I suppose. Yes, he's a good person. Even when managing our territory used up most of our family's resources, he still went out of his way to ensure my comfort. Oh, just a scrap of paper. It was already written on, so no good for note-taking. And obviously, I can't use it to clean my lance. So I tossed it. No need to hang on to inconsequential things, you know. Professor, did you come to check on me for any particular reason? Oh, well, if there's nothing important, I'll be on my way then. I still have some cleaning to take care of, after all. Talk to you later, Professor.
Well done. You have my thanks.
Linhardt, there you are.
Observant as ever, Ferdinand. What can I help you with?
You have been utilizing clever tricks to give me the slip. But not today. Prepare yourself! A noble cannot escape from his duty. Hold these words in your heart.
It seems you really mean it this time. I suppose I have no choice but to outmatch you.
Finally, a little enthusiasm. You are bravely stepping upon the path of nobility. Let us begin!
Come now, Ferdinand. Don't be foolish. I can't possibly train with you. I have places to be.
Wait! I will not allow you to get away!
I can't run anymore.
Just admit defeat.
Can't we? Just a minute. Ferdinand, let me catch my breath.
Well, maybe just for a moment. I could use a rest myself. I am surprised you could run so far. I had assumed that all that lounging around would have dulled your constitution, but I had a difficult time keeping up.
The fear of having to exert myself really helped. You're none too slow yourself. It's been a while since I ran like that. It actually feels pretty good.
It does it not? Well, how about we say that thrilling chase was your training for the day? If you will excuse me, I am going to run even more, so I can catch you next time.
After all the running you already did? That's our Ferdinand. You always give everything your all, don't you?
And what is wrong with that?
Nothing whatsoever, Ferdinand. I mean that.
A little more crimson, maybe?
May I suggest vermilion instead?
Vermilion? I know! I see it! You don't have to say it! I've got no talent at all!
I said nothing about your talent. I simply suggested vermilion over crimson. Do you know vermilion? It's just a softer shade of crimson. I believe it would... Oh, forget it. This is your artistic vision and I am but a meddler. I am going to read my book and leave you to your art.
No! It's fine. Say what you want to say. It's good advice. I'll use vermilion. Thank you.
Well, I'd best be heading back.
Phew! Finally done! I think.
All finished?
Please, don't look at it!
Everything looks a bit faded, doesn't it? Ironically, crimson may have been a better choice after all. The sense of distance on the petals is a little strange. Perhaps you should pay closer attention to such details as you paint. A preliminary sketch would do wonders. Still, forget my pedantic comments. You really do have potential. Bernadetta?
Idiot! Hopeless! Waste of charm! Just burn the whole thing, Bernie! Break your stupid brushes and never paint again!
Huh. Perhaps I should have kept my thoughts to myself.
Now then, where is that book on dance?
Hello, Flane. I'm curious if you could confirm some suspicions I have.
Hello, Linhardt. What is it?
I've recently been lost in study on the topic of Saint Sethlene. You're familiar with her life, yes?
I know a little of her, as do many. But what does this have to do with me?
Interesting that you would ask that. Your question betrays your understanding of my inquiry.
I am quite certain that it does not, as a matter of fact.
I have interviewed several members of the Academy and the Monastery. All agree that you have trouble focusing on detail-oriented work. As I mentioned, I have been carefully researching Saint Sethleen's history, and I found several intriguing anecdotes concerning her life. Granted, it is not stated explicitly in the texts, but it is easy enough to read between the lines and get to the underlying truth. The authors of several tomes, all written within 50 years of Saint Sethleen's passing, imply she found it difficult to maintain focus on detail-oriented tasks. Then, just this morning, as I was studying statues of Saint Sethleen, I came to realize how similar her visage is to your own. Interesting, no?
I do not appreciate your disrespectful approach to this topic.
No disrespect intended, I assure you. Saint Sethleen is a major saint. I only mean to say that looking like her is an honor.
I actually meant that you are being disrespectful to Saint Sethleen.
There was one other item.
If you must.
You are quite skilled in white magic, yes? My understanding is that you have a very high affinity for the art.
Yes, I do. I am confident in my abilities. I am glad of my abilities, for it is a way in which I am able to help others.
Indeed. Once more an echo of Saint Sethleen. I'm so curious as to why such similarities exist. Her crest? Perhaps hereditary traits then? Or is it possible I am allowing myself to see patterns where there are none?
I am very busy searching for a book. I will be going now.